This time I'm going to decorate a two-tier wedding cake with a beach theme. I'm going to use few basic elements to achieve that result. I'm going to make a special texture on this cake. I'm going to color this royal icing with a little bit touch of instant coffee. The coffee gives a perfect ivory tone to white icing. Then I'm going to do some little seashells, starfishes. Then I'm going to use some Yenner's way of sugar corals, which the recipe you can find in the recipe section. Then I'm going to use some of these almond dressures for like beach stone pebbles. First I like to produce my dye, which is the instant coffee. I put a little bit of, just a few drops of water here. It melts very quickly, but you have to make sure that really melts, because if there's a small little pieces goes in the icing, the moisture is not good enough to melt that coffee, so it has to be melted now. Alright. I always put a little bit of vinegar in the royal icing, because vinegar makes it, especially rested royal icing, it loses the creaminess a little bit. So when I mix it just a few turns like this, it becomes creamy again. I place my cake on a turntable because masking is always need to turn the cake around, so turntable will help you to make it quite easier. So I just go like that, very very thin, and don't worry about how it is going to be done, because we're going to smoothen up again by hand later on. What I'm going to do, I'm going to spray a little bit of water on top in the meantime, just slightly water, and go for it with the hand everywhere. Try to even up this icing everywhere around the cake. Once I'm sure that everywhere the icing is evenly distributed, then I do this motion. Just go by hand like that. This really matched to the concept, that beach theme concept. That's it, I'm done. I'm going to start now all the parts. I'm going to start with something that I need to rest it on table a lot longer than the other pieces, so I need to have the dryness at the end when I'm assembling the cake. That's why I do this piece first. This will be then the branches, or you can call this twig or something like extension towards the decorations or whatever. So I just take my little bit of pastillage, not much, just a little bit, like maybe a table tennis ball size. But make sure that this part is thinner than this. This is around sort of like a, it can be 1 cm, 8 millimeters, but this one should be like goes all the way to 0. Alright, then what I do, I just take a knife, I don't need this, starting from the thicker cut, and then go thinner and thinner, at the end up in 0. Take this one like this. You see that it's like a very thick to thin, very nicely, and just give a little bit of like touch around here, and think about somebody you don't like it, and then do this, you know, like just squeeze it like this, and then just put it over here. Let's talk about seashells now. I like to show you how to make a mold out of the pastillage without relying to purchase something or ask someone to give you some mold or cutter or whatsoever. Okay, what I do, I have only a little cutter here, probably about 50 mil, all right, 50 or 55 mil. So what I do, I take a pastillage. So pastillage, knead a little bit like this and make it quite flat like that. Flat to the shape, a little bit bigger than that is mold. Alright, and then carefully this is a plastic piece. It's actually used in the corners of the wall sheets when they join together in constructions. They put this on the corner to cover that edge. So it's another plastic piece that I'm using for a tool, that modeling tool, that very often. I just push this one down. You don't have to do that, but just gives a better texture here. And you just cut it down like that. Alright? So I need to have, just like this, I need to have second piece to put on top. If I take this one now like this, put my cutter on top, and then put another pastel on top, what I do, I will destroy that shape because it's still soft. So that's why I have to give some time to that, let it dry. It's better to wait till tomorrow, give it overnight, but I just did this piece a couple of hours ago. It's hard enough to get the other piece done. So what I do, I put my cutter inside here like this, and then get another soft pastillage. So I just put a little bit of starch here on top of this piece and push this in. So I'm pushing my pastillage on top of the dry one. So my mold is finished. I will do a few seashells now with my Tupperware lids. So I take my 50mm cutter and I cut a few pieces of that. Pieces doesn't get dry quickly, so I can work one by one. Just put them like this and then grab one by one. Here, put it here, just on the edge. Put this on top. Just push slightly on the edge. Take it out. Look at this, my perfect seashell with Tupperware lid. And I have this little plastic holder here. Put it in there. I'm sure you will find something similar in your environment. What I do now, I'm going to use my homemade mold, which is, it's dry a little bit now. I just did about 3 minutes ago. Look at that, it just fits nicely. So what I do, put it here like this. Make sure that you putting in the right spot. Like that. This. Push it in. Still soft. And place it here. Normally what I can do, I can take just a bit of royal icing and glue them together and place it here. But if I do that, I have to wait till tomorrow, just till this dries. So I'm going to use a little bit of white chocolate now here, just to glue it, because I'm going to continue with my cake right away. I'm going to show you now how to make a starfish without any mold, without any cutter. So I have here a conditioned pastillage. which is just warmed up in the microwave for a few seconds. Portion them into reasonable sizes like this. A little bit of oil spray in the hand. Turn to a bowl shape, then flatten a little bit and give 5 edges, just roughly, to create a star. Then after that, each section you pull it out. And give some indentations with this pen tip. Okay, my starfish are almost ready. It has to rest for a while to get a little bit dry. I can lift up like this now. It's no problem because pastillage gives you that possibility. But just wait for another 10 minutes before you put on the cake. Now I'm going to remove the plastic lining, which protects the velvet coated wooden board underneath. I have here raffias, which is natural raffia. I just select about 4 or 5 pieces for each tier. I just simply folding like this, go around. The cake is almost dry. It's already good enough to give a 1 knot like that, and then place your finger here, give a second knot. Doesn't have to be too tight, but once we make the second knot, we can actually pull quite strong because it's not going to pressurize the cake anymore. Do it like this, so it just goes left and right. It's already good enough. Do the same thing with the top level. That's it. So on the second knot, you can pull it because it's not going to pressurize the cake anymore. So I will just chop first a little bit. I'm going to chop later on again on the right place. So then we don't have to have these long pieces around. So I have my 2-tier cake, which is the 20 cm and 25 cm. Both tiers are 75mm height. And I have my couple of seashells here, and some of them I didn't stick it because I like to use it maybe a flat, not really opening up like this. I have here our special microwave sugar corals, which is actually nothing else than a piece of pastillage with addition of some icing sugar. And I have my spikes, or whatever you call, like twig or branches. I will only use one of them, but I prefer to produce a couple of them because they are naturally produced in different directions, different shapes. I like to select the best one to fit it on top. Then I have 5 pieces of starfish. It may be just 4 or 6, doesn't matter. And I have my almond sugar dragées to use it as beach pebbles. So first thing what I do, I will put some of these microwave coral pieces on top. But I like to turn this cake out to myself, then I can see the composition is right. So royal icing, I like to go generously because there's nothing to harm to that. So I like to turn it like this because it will be more drastic looking here. Then I have my second piece on top. I like to position this such a way that I get a bit of height. Just like this. Alright, now I like to put a medium-sized little coral on each level, but not exactly on the same direction. Maybe a little bit left, a little bit right. So I'm just going to put one here. Maybe one here. And the next thing is I like to put one of this branch on top. I know it's touching here. Just put it there, a little bit of here, and resting on it. It's done. Now I have my seashell. As you see inside, a little bit, you can see the white chocolate. So I just put my royal icing inside here and close it up. You don't see it anymore. And I like to use some royal icing here behind to glue it. So I think this is the best spot to start with. And of course this one here, one there, I will put one here. I have this quite open one, but will match the bottom level. That's it. So I like to select the best starfish for the top, which is this one. That's it. So if I turn it around so you can look at it from the front camera, it's already a flow there, but it's not 100% completed. See that there's some part here that's not really a bit empty, something missing there. And also I have a chance now to put a little bit more. So I have here another shell. I can extend the bottom part a little bit more here. I think there's nothing necessary to put more load on it, so I will put a couple of more pebbled stones, which is the almond dragées, and finish it off nicely. As far as I'm concerned, I think the composition is finished. I don't have to load more things on it. So I turn around so you can see better from the front camera. This is the way how we do it as a simple beach themed wedding cake. I look forward to have you joining us again on the next tutorial.